Good morning, everyone. I don't know if it's morning for you or not, but it is for me, so that's what we're going with. It's a beautiful morning here in Colorado Springs. Decided to take the black Carve 3 out for a ride this morning. Everybody else went busy, so you're stuck with just me today. But today we're going to be going on the dreaded Hill of Doom. So we are off. Now, last time I talked to Corey, he said that the trucks were loosening up on this a little bit and stuff. I'm still having one heck of a time trying to ride it. So in something like this, kind of a straight line, it's just fine. But when I try to go around like a 90-degree turn or something like that, I almost come off the board only because I can't lean on it. I'm used to leaning more than this board will let me. Now, I think Fabian getting a little irritated with me saying that, but that's my whole gig, is that I try to be honest if possible, and that's my honest opinion. A lot of people like the board because of it. Yeah, I would shoot double kingpin over single kingpin, but I've talked about that enough. Let's talk about the modes. So right now I wanted to try it out in eco mode. So like going up the hill in eco mode, I'm full throttle, and it can only do 9 miles an hour. Now there are 4 different modes, but I can't figure out the difference between the first two. So the first one, eco, 70% acceleration, 80% braking. The second one, in cruise, 70% acceleration, 80% braking. So I don't know if that allows you a higher top speed or what, but the acceleration and braking are the same. Then sport is 80% acceleration, 80% braking. And brutal is 100% acceleration, 80% braking. So I was trying it just in eco mode. I can get across the street. I was trying it just in eco mode just to see how things would go. I'm definitely going to turn it up. Only because we are headed to the dreaded hill to try to do a timed run up the hill. So yeah, I think they're different with cruise. It lets you go faster, I think. It's definitely going faster up these hills. As far as the remote goes, I'm kind of unsure still. I know I already said that a couple videos ago, but so I definitely do like the screen better than the typical Hobby Wing remote that Onsra gone with in the past. I do like the screen better. I'm unsure about this. So just in all aspects, I do like how much control I have with my thumb on the other one a little bit, and then this part is a little small. I'd like it to be a little bit wider, only so that I can grip it better, but I understand that they have to make this remote for people with all different sizes hands. But if you have a little bit of bigger hands, I think you might run into a little bit of issue with this remote, but it's definitely doable. One thing that I've noticed about the black Carve 3 is it's extremely quiet. For a belt driven board, big old motors on it, it's really quiet. Yeah. I do like that. I like how quiet it is. I really like riding that trail to kind of test just the ups and downs and the hill capability of the boards. Because as you can see, they're quite the downhill. Littered with rocks. So these are the types of turn that the black Carve 3 does just fine. So if you just have a swooping, curvy trail, you're commuting on it, it does amazing on these. And I will say, just going in a straight line, this thing is absolutely stable. Let's see if it'll make the corner. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Barely. I'm sure the more I ride this thing, the more I'll get used to it. And if I went commuting, honestly, now that I rode the board a couple times and seen it in action with Corey on it, if I was commuting on the boards, say time to go to work or time to go wherever I was going, the black Carve 3 is the first one that I'd take if I'm commuting, because you can average, especially with how loose I have the trucks on the black Carve 2, you can average probably 5 to 10 mile an hour faster, like comfortably faster, just cruising on the black Carve 3 than you can the black Carve 2. Yeah. But it's turns like this one coming up. I know, hard to see in the sun. So I can actually make all of the corner right here on the black Carve 2. The 3? No way. No way. But simple fix. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Yeah, see, I can't even make that one. And I know Fabian has said quite a few times, come on. Oh, don't like that. It did not like trying to go up this steep hill from a dead stop. And I tried to just shift my weight forward, you know, like motion my legs forward, and it almost kicked out from underneath me. It didn't like trying to start out on that hill. And I can't say for sure if I've actually tried doing that on the black Carve 2. So the next time black Carve 2's out, we're gonna try that. But I don't remember having that issue. So if you're going up a steep hill, you gotta get going on it first. Okay, that's 100% on cruise. And this board does not like it. Not like it. You've seen it race up this hill. I'm doing 100% right now on cruise. I think drop the throttle, turn it into sport, and see if that helps it at all. It's 100%. I'm sure brutal will help it. Oh yeah, sport's getting up at 15 miles an hour. All right, so I was just coming up that hill. I'm going to show you the clip in a second. Coming up that hill, I'm trying to say, oh yeah, now the viewer know where we are, because Sean and I have raced up that hill quite a few times. Anyway, so I'm trying to tell y'all, oh, now you got to know where I'm at, because of the way the trail looks. And I saw somebody walking from the right, so I applied a little bit of brake. I'm in sport mode. Now, according to the remote, being in sport mode doesn't change the braking. But yeah, that board locked up. I came right off of that board. So here's the clip. Yeah, now you know. So we'll talk more about that here in a second, but we're at the dumpster. We're at the Hill of Doom, the Gauntlet, whatever you want to call it. So I went ahead and changed the remote to brutal. Right now the remote says it at 95, the board says it at 95%. Now, I'm going to say on your marks, get set, go. And all the other tests, I'm 100% sure on this one, and I've gone from a dead stop right here and gone up the hill. So I'm going to say on your marks, get set, go, and I'm going to try to floor it the best that I can and see if it even starts, because it didn't like that other hill starting off. All right, a lot of foot traffic today, so hopefully I don't run into anybody. All right, here we go. On your marks, get set, go. Morning. Holy cow. All right. So we're going 17, 16, 17. I'm letting off. All right, so let's talk about that for just a couple of seconds. Right at the beginning there, I saw a person on the trail and I wasn't confident that I could make that corner. So I had to let off. And then there was another corner that I let off on. I'm not confident that I can make the corner. So I'm gonna actually turn around, try that one more time and see if I can't get a better time. Let's check the braking right here too. So the brakes have been working just fine down that really steep hill. Now I'm gonna go full brakes, full brakes. Ooh, man, they locked it up down this hill. Yeah, like the brakes on that board are extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. All right, here we go again. Attempt 2 is still on brutal. 1, 2, 3, go. Holy cow. It's floored. 15. And off. So there's a turn at the bottom of there that Sean and I compete against each other to see who can make it. Here's the turn, and it's 180 degrees. So let's see how, yeah, the black Carve got 90 degrees out of it. Or the black Carve 3, I should say. Try to stay out of everybody's way. I love that trail, it's just narrow.
I know.
The Sand Creek Trail, wide and nice. All right, thank you, ma'am. You too. Oh, it's still recording. I don't think I'm gonna even make that turn. Oh, come on, yes. Whew. Oh, everything I had to make that turn. Anyway, so that run, I definitely did better, but all the other boarding that I've taken up that hill, come on, I can, excuse me, I can floor it up that hill and be okay, cause I know I'm gonna make the turns. But on that board, there's 2 spots on that I kind of hesitate. And I mean, I proved it to myself the first time I went up it that I can make the corner. That's not the problem. The problem is they're kind of blind. And I'm going from one side of the trail all the way over to the other. So if somebody coming up that or down that trail when I'm going up it, we're gonna collide. Oh, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. You have a great day. So I just got to be wary of it. This dude moving out on that run. Good for him. So I'm gonna say something else about the board. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I think it's in the name too. If you have ridden, however you want to say that, a black Carve 1 or 2 or any of the double kingpin truck boards, and you're like, do you know what? I like it, it's fun, but I want something more sporty. I want something more anchored down. I don't do carving back and forth all the time, like quick carving. That's a big swooping carving. I don't take real aggressive or real sharp turns all the time. Then honestly, I would probably buy the black Carve 3. As much as it pains me to say, that's not my riding style, and that's not where I go riding. But like on this sidewalk right here, it's just along the main road. Because it's along the main road, I'm not gonna have any 90-degree turns and 180-degree switchbacks and stuff like that. This board is gonna excel at this. So I went from somewhere that it didn't do too good at all to somewhere that it's gonna do absolutely amazing. So it all depends on your riding style and what you're wanting out of a board. Like right now, I'm just cruising at 15 miles an hour, and the board is just going exactly where I want it to go. Anywhere that I point it, it's gonna go that direction. Gotta be careful on these side streets. People don't realize that where the sidewalk go across, like that person had a stop sign. Obviously, pedestrian have the right of way across there. They didn't even come to a stop. So, gotta be careful out there with that. So I'm in brutal mode still from that hill climb. I like the acceleration and the power the way it feels on brutal mode, but I am very weary about the brakes because brutal mode, oh no, it's still set 80%. I don't know if that's true though. Man, sport mode, I haven't done kind of emergency braking. I wouldn't call it emergency. I just wanted to do a little bit faster stop when I saw the people so I didn't run into them. Because you know us, we normally floor it and then go into that that dirt trail right across it, and they were coming from my right. So if I would have done that, I would have hit them or cut them off, which I didn't want to do. So I touched the brakes. What I felt when, you know, just applied the brakes, and man, did that board stop. So let's get back into that. I've never once had a board come to a complete stop like that going down that hill. I've tested the brakes down that hill of every board I've taken on the hill, and this is the first board that done that. And not only did it do it, it's not like it was, oh yeah, see, it kind of came to a stop. No, this thing came to a stop. There was a bunch of motor chatter. It actually locked up the one wheel real quick, and then there was more motor chatter, but it came to a complete stop. And every other board that I've had on there, I think the worst board was probably the Evolve GTR. But every board I've had on there, you know, it slows down to a couple miles an hour and then just keeps that. This stopped, and then of course with the reverse polarity, then it started rolling even with the brakes applied. But that was nuts. So I want to hear what you guys think about brakes on the boards, because I've always kind of complained about the brakes on all the boards that I've ridden on. I've always kind of complained about the brakes, that they weren't very strong. You know, you get going 15-20 miles an hour and you put the brakes, and it takes, I don't know, rough guesstimate 20 yards or whatever to come to a stop. I'm gonna try to apply these. Yeah, see this, I'm weary of them. I'm applying them ever so gingerly. I get across this road so I can pay attention. So I want to know what you guys think about brakes in general. Are they normally too soft, too much, just right? What? And what makes it go from too aggressive to not aggressive enough? Because I'm not the only person that come off the board touching the brakes like that. So if you remember, Corey went riding. We came around a corner. There was a little bit of traffic in front of us, so he just wanted to slow down a little bit. It wasn't like a, oh no, I need to put the brakes. It was just like, let me slow down. And it did the same thing to him. If you go, I'm going to talk percentage on the wheel. If you go over like 20-30% on the wheel, it's going to come to a stop. You got to be ready for it. So you let me know. Is that something that you guys like, that you want? I'm sure your riding ability is better than mine. So when that happened, you got more prepared and can actually stay on the board. I couldn't. I came right off that board. Luckily on uphill, so the board slowed down. I was doing 15 miles an hour before that. And when I came off of it, I just jogged and stopped within, you know, a couple yards, maybe 5 yards, stopped. All right, I'm absolutely rambling now. You guys are tired of hearing me. So let's get this ride to a close. I'm going to just continue on my ride and enjoy my ride in that beautiful weather. And I will check in with y'all once I am back at the truck. All right, we're back at the truck. So let's do some checking in and some final thoughts. So that ride right there was 8.2 mile according to GPS. I'm looking at this remote. I don't see a place where it tells you like the trip mileage. It's in total down in the bottom right. Probably can't see it, but it's in total down in the bottom right. Yeah, and it's in total for 72 miles. So I think that total on the board, we have 72 miles on the board. and that trip was 8.2 mile long. Took me 58 minutes, and the board's sitting at 75%, remote sitting at 90%. So let's talk about some pros and cons real quick. I'm going to compare it to Black Carve 3 or Black Carve 2 because that's what the Black Carve 3 is supposed to be replacing. So first off, I don't care what it ended up being up that hill. This board has more power. It doesn't like to start from a complete stop when it's on a hill. It does not like to do that. But this board has more power, and it obviously has more battery capacity. You'll have to go back and watch a video if you want to prove me wrong, but to the best of my memory, the Black Carve 1 and 2 on the rubber wheels did about 12 miles total, and that one being really nice to it. I just did 8.2 miles on some very steep hills, going full throttle up quite a few hills, trying to test the acceleration uphill, and we're only at 75%, or we're only down 25% from what the total capacity is. So it does say voltage on here for all you guys that like to geek out on that. The voltage says 46.5 volts. Now an update on the trucks. So like I told you guys when I was going to put Corey on it, the washer and her back on the board, we haven't messed with it at all. For those that care, according to Fabian, this is what you do in this order. So you take out, you flip this washer over. If it's still not enough, then you take out the bottom washer, I believe. If it's still not enough, then he's saying that he recommends that you take out this bushing, the outer bushing. I don't want steel on steel. I want that bushing in there, so I wouldn't do that personally. But yeah, they're still the way that they came from Onsra. That's about all I can think of. If I took the characteristics of both boards, the Black Carve 2 and the Black Carve 3, which one would I pick? So power and distance, I would pick the Black Carve 3. Carving and turning, sharp turn, obviously Black Carve 2, double kingpin trucks. And then the brakes. So I've given you all enough time to comment down below what you thought about the brakes, so I'm going to give you my thoughts. So anybody that geeked out enough on the board, you've gone in and either tried to reprogram them or watched video of people reprogramming them. I had to do that a little bit on the Eovan. So I'm not good at it by any means, but I've been into the programming and kind of changed all the different values on how the acceleration and the brake works. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll try to give you a quick crash course. So in the acceleration and braking tables, it's a bar graph or a line graph. So what you can do, you can tell the board, hey, when the remote says that we're at 20% throttle, I actually want you to give it 40%. Or 20% equal 20%, or 20% equal 10%. That's where they get the different modes, and that's why in eco mode, when you floor it, you can stay on the board and it just gradually accelerates. Whereas in brutal mode, you floor it, you better be ready for it. It's going to send you off the back of the board if you're not. So here are my thoughts on the brake. I think that the brake just needs a little bit of tuning on this board. Don't think that you can, or it's not readily easily done. I'm sure somebody out there know how to crack into this and get into it, but for me, it's not easily done. I wish you could do it on the remote. Just change some braking values, or that was already built into the system where sport mode should not be that brutal where it sent me off the board at 10 miles an hour. But who knows? Maybe that was me doing it wrong or whatever, but that's my thoughts. So my thoughts would be, I love how strong the brakes are on this. I just wish that strength came later in the throw of the brake. So instead of getting that at 50% brake where I'm coming off the board, that should be reserved for, 70 to 90% braking input. I do want to give one trick of the trade that I've learned. You guys probably all know this, but something that I've learned. So today when there are a lot of gravel, a lot of sand on the trail, I've had little rocks get stuck in between the grooves of the belt here, and after about a ride or two, it's just going to break your belt. So what I do anytime that I go on a ride like that is I just flip the board up and I turn it to where I can see inside all the grooves, and I just rotate them, make sure there's no little pebble or rocks that got stuck in there. All right, kind of time to wrap this up. So I've been really hard on the Black Carve 3, and why? It's not necessarily the board, it's my expectation of the board. So Onsra, all my Onsra have been so good that the next iteration that come out, I expect to be even leaps and bounds better than the iteration that went before it, specifically Onsra's. With that being said, I think Fabian did that. I think Onsra did that. I think that the board is better than a predecessor in certain ways. I just think that it deserves a different name. Instead of Black Carve, I think this is the Onsra Sport, or the Onsra Black Sport, or whatever you want to call it, to get across to everybody that this is more of a sport board than it is a carving, hard turning, sharp turning type of board. Now, with that being said, I mean, I know I'm kind of an Onsra fanboy. I know that. I think that the Onsra boards that I have are the best boards that you can get without getting into like niche type boards like custom boards. For a take out of the box board, just jump on it, ride it, put it away at 70% and leave it all winter, unlike the Kali. I don't think they're a better board on the market. If you think otherwise, throw it down in the comments so people could check out those boards too. This isn't the Onsra channel. This is the Rama e-skate channel. It just happens to be that the Onsra are what I am drawn to and what I like to ride. So with this board not really meeting my riding style, I'll say this: I'll take it over any other board that I put on that channel besides the Onsras. So whether the Vril, the Eovan, definitely not the GTR. I did not like that board at all. I would take this over any of those, but again, I'd still take the Black Carve 2 over the Black Carve 3, only because the trucks on the Black Carve meet my riding style better. Now, I said at the beginning of the video that I think I'm frustrating Fabian a little bit with that board, and that's fine. Like I said, this channel doesn't exist to make everybody happy. It exists so I can put my thoughts and feeling out about boards. If you remember, this channel started because everybody said that the Wowgo went the best board for under $1,000, and I got it and felt absolutely the opposite of that. I hated that board. I still hate that board. I'll never buy another Wowgo because of that board. Fabian, if you're watching this, if not the personal man, it's okay. People are allowed to have their own opinions, and not everybody's gonna like everything 100% of the time, and that's fine. No, I don't like everything about the board, but like I said, I would still take this over any other brand of board that I've reviewed on the channel so far. Maybe besides the Kali, obviously, but the Kali is dead, so I can't really compare anything to that, and it's twice the amount of that board, yada yada yada. And here's my final thought on the entire generation of board, is that I wish they would have offered two different boards. So this they would have called the Sport with a single kingpin trucks and allowed people that want to go faster and want more stability and stuff like that at speed to buy this board. It would have been a simple change just to put double kingpin trucks on the exact same board, and then have that at the Black Carve, and then the Sport 1 or Sport 3, whatever you wanted to call it. So then they're two different classes of boards. I kind of hope that's the direction the Onsra go in the future. But I wouldn't hold your breath, because when I talked to Fabian when the board first came out, he kind of made the hint that single kingpin trucks and kind of the way that everybody going and what he said and everybody gonna say in it. It's sad because it's kind of a dying generation with a double kingpin truck. But if you keep up with Onsra news at all, you know that their new board coming out, I forget what name it is, but their new board coming out that doesn't have the trucks. It's more like the Kali with the air bags, air shocks, whatever you want to call them, that create the turning ability in that board. So it will be seen if that board handle better than this one. Maybe an in between the 2 and the 3. Don't know. I know that you could change it out on the Kali to get, you know, different resistance and make it turn harder or be more stable. So hopefully that's the case there. But only time will tell on that one. I don't know if I'm going to end up getting one of those boards or fixing the Kali. I'm probably going to do one of the two, but I got to save up all my pennies in order to do that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you like the video and want others to see it, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and we will catch you on the next video.